Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another daily drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones, and the topic today is North Carolina and the basketball portal. That is the thing most everybody that has a rooting interest in North Carolina wants to talk about right now. We got plenty of football stuff coming. There's a lot of time for that, guys. The Tar Heels don't even start practicing for another 2.5, 3 months. So we got plenty of time to talk football. We're going to continue the basketball run of drops right now. And the focus here is on Ven-Allen Lubin, who spent this past season at Vanderbilt. As we reported, we put his name out there Sunday when we ran a piece about some of the names. We put his name out there Sunday. We got it confirmed Monday, Tuesday. Can't remember now. Everything is drawn. It was Monday night we got it confirmed, and Monday afternoon got it confirmed. Anyway, we've been learning more and more about him and about his game, and I went ahead and watched quite a bit of him today. Highlight clips, which are great, but I watch full games because I want to see all the in-between stuff that are never going to make it on the highlight clips. And the purpose of this drop isn't to say, hey, everybody, Ven-Allen Lubin is the guy, so go start watching him because he's the next Tar Heel. I mean, he could be. We know that things are going well in that process right now. However, more the point here is I want Carolina fans who are really upset right now and a little disgruntled over the fact that they didn't land a 7-foot center, someone who's going to protect the crap out of the rim and be a big clog inside that lane, someone who can get him some points, but rebound and protect the rim and be your typical 7-foot type, 6'11" type that the last couple of national championship teams that UConn has had. They had Donovan Clingan. They had Clingan the year before, and another big who was very effective for them as well. Kansas 2 years ago had a big that helped them win the national championship. I have a drop coming Friday about how not all the champions have these types of bigs. Champions are not cookie cutter. They come in all different kinds of shapes and sizes. That's why I'm back here with Ven-Allen Lubin. North Carolina's not going to get that 7-foot guy. They're going to get someone that fans are kind of taking a while to get comfortable with. I thought it was interesting reading our premium message board at Tar Heel Illustrated, the Four Corners board, which you can access for $8.33 a month. It's an awesome, awesome board. Our stuff is outstanding. You would know a lot about how everything is played out if you were a premium subscriber to our site. And then, quick reminder, we have not raised our price in 10 years. But on the Four Corners board, a lot of people started talking about Ven-Allen Lubin, and I thought it was really interesting some of the comparisons people made about him, reminding them of Harrison Ingram, reminding him of someone else. And I hadn't seen a ton of him, admittedly, but today I watched a lot of Ven-Allen Lubin, and I'm going to talk about his game. And the purpose here is to kind of tell Carolina fans the type of player you're probably going to end up getting. And I actually think now, after seeing a bunch of the different guys that are out there, he might be the best fit of anyone that we know could be or is on North Carolina's radar. And the reason I say that is because in spite of the fact that he's 6'8", he's got a 7-foot wingspan and he uses it. He plays bigger than 6'8". If you watch him on both ends of the floor, he sees the floor well. He knows where his teammates are. He knows where the ball is when he's on defense. He's one of those bigs that will get a loose ball. He'll pick off a lob. He will move a guy off the blocks because he's got big lower hips that he uses well. He's got a broad shoulders that he uses well. He's not cat quick, but he's very efficient with his footwork, with everything that he does. You don't see him get crossed up. You don't see him make unintelligent movements with his body and get himself out of position. Does he get beat sometimes? Absolutely. He's 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan. Now, I found interesting, one of the games I watched was the last game of the regular season this year when Vanderbilt beat Florida by a point. Florida was good, and Florida had a ton of 6'9", 6'10", 6'11" guys. And he went up again. They used a lot of them. They were rotating bigs on him all day long. And Ven-Allen Lubin went for 25 points and 11 rebounds. He's a guy that doesn't force a ton of stuff. He's got a catch, analyze, mid-range jumper game. He can shoot the three, but it's a wide open shot. And teams, even at the end of the year, he shot in the 30% range. He was 33% from outside, 13 for 39. They still laid off him. So they're laying off him, and he's 13 for 39. That tells me a lot of work there. He could improve that percentage, and suddenly teams are going to have to start guarding him at some point out there. And he's a good passer. He's an aware passer. He's not always going to be the assist guy with the pass, but he'll get the ball out of his hands to the right spot to keep it moving, which is very important with the way Hubert Davis wants to play basketball. He's a really good scorer around the rim. One of the things I enjoyed a lot about watching his game is how he rolls to the basket well. He knows how to find seams in the defense, get to the basketball. He catches, he squares, he's got an up and under stuff. He uses the backboard. He gets a lot of stuff on putbacks. He's a pretty good offensive rebounder, not just weak side stuff like people think, oh, 6'8", you got to be a good weak side offensive rebounder. He gets offensive rebounds in traffic. He gets rebounds on the other end. I saw him save a couple of balls that were going out of bounds on the defensive end and get them to a teammate. Saw him do it one time on the offensive end, get him to a teammate. 2 quick passes later, Vanderbilt scored a basket, and he was the one that kind of enabled that to happen. Now, his stats this past year, 12.3 points, 6.5 rebounds, 2.5 offensive rebounds a game. He played 28 minutes, 1 block. I saw him block a lot of shots, actually. He shot 53% from the field. He was 73% from the free throw line, attempted 97. He about 6, just under 1 steal. I'm trying to think of the exact number, but maybe 6.6 or something like that. He's active. And 1.2 turnovers, which is not bad for a guy who touches it a lot, and only 2 fouls. 28 minutes a game, he averaged only 2 fouls a game. So he's a guy that can use his shoulders, use his hips, is really good help side rim protection and stopping drives, forcing guards to shoot pull-ups instead of getting to the rim, and only averaged 2 fouls a game this year. So I think Carolina fans should pull up video of him. Go to YouTube, pull it up. There's a lot of stuff out there. Watch him play, because I think Carolina fans need to acclimate themselves or yourselves to the idea that you're not going to get that big 7-footer. You're not going to get the guy you dreamed about, the type of player you dreamed about a couple of weeks ago. It's going to be a little different, but it's very doable. I think he's a 5/4, not a 4/5. Even though he's a bit undersized, he's comfortable in the paint. He's more comfortable in the paint with what I've seen than he is outside the paint, but he's got that 12-foot mid-range game. And he can hit the open three. And because he's a pretty decent passer from outside, especially the top of the key, it's not a waste to have him out there. You can also do some pick and pop stuff with him because he sets good screens. Again, broad, big hips, broad shoulders, good screener. And defensively, he rolls pretty well when he's defending ball screens, rolling back defensively. There's a lot of nice things he does. He's a smart guy. Started out at Notre Dame, then went to Vanderbilt, 2 great schools. He's an academic guy. He plays the game with a really nice IQ. And I think he would fit with Carolina for a couple of reasons. One, they don't have anybody like him. Jalen Washington doesn't have the brawn that Ven-Allen Lubin has, or at least hasn't shown it just yet, but he's got a lot of other things. Jalen Withers is bouncy, he's athletic, he can do a lot of things for you, but he's not always a super clean player, not as of yet. We don't know what Zayden High's going to be in year number 2. We don't know what James Brown's going to be in year number 1. Everything that we have understood is that he's more of a project, a little bit like High was. David Siss said that this time a year ago about Zayden High. He's saying it now about James Brown. He was right about High, and I suspect he's right about James Brown. So I think Ven-Allen Lubin is a guy who would mix well with Withers, with Jalen Washington. He's a different player. He's a very economical player, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And he's someone I think that can give Carolina a lot of minutes and be a body they need. I'll give you a quick reference. There are times, and please understand where I'm going. Let me explain this whole example to you. There are times he reminds me of Garrison Brooks. And the good side of Garrison Brooks. Garrison was pretty strong. Garrison could patrol the paint. He had a good body who could deal with physicality and all that kind of stuff. Ven-Allen Lubin looks a little bit smoother offensively to me, and perhaps a little bit better defensively in some respects than Garrison was. Garrison was a nice player, but Ven-Allen Lubin as a sophomore was well ahead this past year than where Garrison Brooks was as a sophomore. So I'm just trying to give people a little visual, but he's not Garrison. But I'm trying to give you a little visual and relate to you something that came to my mind. Harrison Ingram didn't come to my mind when watching him. I don't see it. He's not a roaming perimeter guy. Here's a guy that's going to be on the block. Here's a guy that's going to take the other team's 5-man. He's going to try to push him out a little bit, push him out of the comfort zone, move him off the block a little bit. And he's going to defend. He's going to use that 7-foot wingspan, and he's going to cause some issues in there. Is he always going to shut down other teams' bigs? No, of course not. Is he going to go for 20 and 12 every night? Is he going to be Armando Bacot? No, he's a different player than Armando. But maybe with what Hubert Davis wants to do, he will fit really, really well with what the Tar Heels would probably like to do moving forward. I know that Hubert isn't quite yet at the point where the entire roster is exactly his picking. When I say that, he still inherited a couple guys that were still around, and Armando in particular. Hubert loves Armando. Armando is a phenomenal player. He's good. Jersey's going to duly go up in the rafters, but a lot of us have wondered, what's it going to be life after Armando for Hubert? What kind of big is he going to go after? Well, we saw him go after a couple and not get him. But here's a guy they reached out to pretty quickly. They didn't have to go through a bunch of stacks of papers to try to find out some guy who averages double figures, who's big and played in the power league. No, they knew about him, and they reached out pretty quickly, and so far things are going pretty well. This drop is not to say he's their guy. It's not to say he's not, but it is to tell you guys, this is the type of dude you need to go watch on film and start to embrace how a player like that can help the Tar Heels next year, because you're going to get someone in that realm more than likely, and perhaps even Ven-Allen Lubin. If you're excited about the idea of something different and something new, and if you've seen Ven-Allen Lubin play and you like his game, go ahead and click like on this video. If you're open to something new and different, again, like I just said, because it's going to be new and different, the land of Armando is gone. A replacement that looks a little bit like Armando, that's out the window. If you're excited about seeing something different, go ahead and click like on this video. If there's somebody else you have in mind other than a Ven-Allen Lubin, go ahead and click like on this video and let us know. Let us know what you think about his game if you've seen it. Let us know what you think about some of the other guys and who your preference is. Is it JT Toppin? Is it Great Osibor? Is it somebody else? Are you willing to wait for Coleman Hawkins from Illinois? Let us know. Very interested to know what you guys have to say. And like I said before, go to our board, man. Four Corners, unbelievable discussion. I'm not even commenting much in there because I'm just reading because it's great stuff. Head on over there to stay 33 a month for a 1-year sub. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. If you haven't, make sure you hit the notification bell so you get updates every time we upload a video, which is often. And tell your friends we are here, because we're here. And we're here all the time. I'm AJ. Thanks for stopping by.